Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, guess what? We have a great moment in history to take. This day in history, in 1307, William Tell shot the apple off of his son's head and avoided execution. This is what the guy did. People don't realize this. This is a great historical story. You know the story behind it? Well, there was a guy named Gessler who was going to execute, he was kind of like the king, was going to execute William Tell unless he performed the feat, and he did it. And then William Tell later killed Kessler. William Tell is a real figure, historically accurate, and he basically is one of the founders, if not the founder, of Switzerland, as we now know it. How do you like that? William Tell shot the apple. Then, the guy that wrote the opera, it was an opera, William Tell Overture, was written by Gioacchino Rossini, the William Tell Overture. And you all know, do you know why, Jamie Spindley and Sabrina, why the William Tell Overture is so famous? It's the theme song for the great hit, The Lone Ranger. Dun 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 dun. There's some history. Now let's get to it. How about Donald Trump's visit to UFC? He's there with Dana White, Joe Rogan, Don Jr., Eric Trump, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, the whole gang flew up to it. It was great. Kid Rock, applause out the yin yang, his people. Now, Kid Rock was asked if he was going to be a member of the cabinet, and he said, the only thing I'm in charge of is the liquor cabinet. That's pretty good, isn't it? And then they showed a picture of Trump on the plane where they're all eating McDonald's. And Donald Trump Jr. says, make America healthy again begins tomorrow. Because Bobby Kennedy was actually going to eat some McDonald's. And there were some people that were all, oh, look, he's eating McDonald's. Folks, I'm an example of that. When you eat healthy and you exercise and you take care of yourself, you can eat McDonald's every once in a while. You do. All right. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is claiming that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. Do you believe it never, ever ends with these people? Ever. Thune says that he does not rule out, the new Senate Majority Leader, does not rule out recess appointments to get his cabinet selected. Chris Wright, who is the head of a fracking company, has been nominated to be the Secretary of Energy. Tim Scott is going to head up the Republican Senatorial Committee. Fetterman is acknowledging that the Trump campaign was a bromance and that the bros flexed. And you know what? That's right. The UFC is a great example of it. It's cool to be a dude again, a guy again. It's pretty unbelievable, isn't it? Mike Rogers, the congressman from Michigan who barely lost the Senate seat, is in consideration to be the head of the FBI. Florida Hispanics voted for Trump, 56% of them for Trump. Pentagon has now flunked 7 or 8, I don't forget the count, audits. The Pentagon can't find $800 billion. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Business as usual with the political gangsters. $800 billion? That's insane. Ukraine. Biden's okayed Ukraine using long-distance missiles to hit Russia inside Russia, trying to start World War III. Bill Clinton was on CBS Good Morning Show yesterday talking about his new book, Citizen, which chronicles his 24 years after being president of the United States. He had a nice interview. Pronouns. The old pronouns of AOC have been taken down on Twitter. She's taken down her pronouns. Tesla's value has skyrocketed since Trump won. Chuck Schumer, you know what he's saying now? Let's have some bipartisanship. Chuck Schumer, I don't know who's worse, him and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, they're just like scoundrel snakes. Unbelievable. Trump, the lawsuit against ABC News is on a fast track. The judge says no more time for delay. That involves George Stephanopoulos. And Israel now has admitted they knocked out Iran's nuclear facility. Yes. Rahm Emanuel might come back to run the Democratic Party because it's in shambles. Brendan Carr, who's already on the FCC, will now be the head of the FCC. He's the one that cried foul about the Saturday Night Live issue. But Trump has nominated him to be the head of the FCC. Caroline Leavitt has been nominated by President Trump to be his press secretary. I don't think that has to get approved. But the bottom line is Caroline Leavitt worked in the campaign, and she will be his press secretary. Delete U.S. House of Representatives. It's Caroline Leavitt. Your Shakespearean insult of the day, don't be a shard-born, debauched hugger-mugger, as chosen by me. Coming up next, local news. All right, here we go with Kentucky and Ohio regional local news. The Senate Republican caucus selected their new leaders. Damon Thayer, the majority leader, is no longer in the Senate. But the state Kentucky legislature, President Robert Stivers, he's reelected, President Pro Tem David Givens, Majority Floor Leader Max Wise, Majority Whip Mike Wilson, and Majority Caucus Chair Robbie Mills. Max Wise ran for governor with Kelly Craft. Robbie Mills ran for governor with Daniel Cameron. The Enquirer, you can't make this up. The Enquirer, Sunday's paper, living abroad. Now, do they do a big expose on the Durrani victims and medical protective? No. But they said this: tips if you are serious about leaving America post-election. This is unbelievable. Big Mac Bridge. You know, folks, they keep reporting they're inspecting the Big Mac Bridge. Remember the fire? You know, back in the day, that bridge would already be fixed by now. What is it in today's modern society? Nothing moves the way it should. It's unbelievable. Alliance, which is the Kraft coal mining company, is laying off 300 coal miners in a mine in Pike County. Boy, that hurts. That hits. 8 train cars derailed in Cincinnati. 8 of them. No hazardous substances, though. Lawrence Crowder is the new CEO of the Greater Cincinnati Airport, replacing Candace McGraw. And, this is big, Sherrod Brown does not rule out running for the seat that J.D. Vance will be vacating. And a gigantic battery plant in Shelby County, Kentucky is going to employ 1,600 folks. And this makes me sick. A man has been charged with spray painting potholes to get them filled faster. I say that's a bunch of crap. He's doing his duty. The officials are being shard-born, debauched mugger huggers. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley and his world news.
The latest world headlines. United States President Joe Biden has authorized Ukraine to use American-supplied long-range missiles to target Russian territories, according to United States officials. The decision marks a significant policy shift, as Washington had previously denied such requests for Kyiv. A 21-year-old student carried out a mass stabbing at the Vocational Institute of Art and Technology in Xinjiang, eastern China. The attack claimed 8 lives and injured 17 others, according to local police. In other news, severe toxic smog has blanketed northern India, with New Delhi experiencing its highest pollution levels this year. Microparticle concentrations have exceeded safe limits, prompting authorities to move all school classes online. And an E. coli outbreak linked to organic and baby carrots has prompted a nationwide recall in the United States. The CDC reports 39 cases across 18 states, with 15 hospitalizations and 1 death. That's all I have for today. You're up to date on the world's latest news. Stay tuned for Sports Without Boundaries. Cheerio.
All right, here we go with Sports Without Boundaries. Well, the big sports story was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight on Netflix on Friday night at 8 p.m. It didn't get started till midnight. You know what? We're all suckers. And then Jake Paul came out in a car, which was ugh. Although I like Jake Paul a little bit better. Did you all watch the fight? Yes. I like Jake Paul a little better because he endorsed Trump. But then the fight clearly was, well, are you kidding me? Rogan reported that Tyson got paid more money the longer the fight went. Well, he ain't going to try to knock out Jake Paul. And Jake Paul says he didn't want to hurt Mike Tyson. So it was all a big sham. All those people. I mean, it's insane when you think about it. All right, Netflix, by the way, kept having technical difficulties and shorten out. I had to keep switching it back on and off. It's crazy. Also in sports, John Jones at the UFC took care of business and did the Trump dance in front of President Trump. John Jones is my favorite UFC fighter. Pac-Man got arrested. You know Pac-Man, formerly the Bengals. Pac-Man Jones got arrested for assault. And the Detroit Lions team doing the Trump dance. Brock Bowers did it too for the Raiders, but the press secretary wouldn't let him talk about it. All right, in the news, and this is just terrible, the Bengals lost. They shouldn't have lost. They lost to the San Diego Chargers. They blow another game. McPherson, 2 missed field goals, just missed opportunities. They were handed opportunity after opportunity to win. Here's the rest of the score. Steelers 18, Ravens 16. Steelers only lost twice. Lions 52, Jaguars 6. Rams 28, Patriots 22. Saints 35, Browns 14. Sorry, Nick Batista. Jets lose again to the Colts 28-27. Vikings 23, Titans 13. Dolphins 34, Raiders 19. Packers 20, Bears 19. Seahawks 20, 49ers 17. Broncos 38, Falcons 6. Bills 30, Chiefs 21. Monday Night Football, Texans versus the Cowboys. Cowboys will lose. In college football, some scores you might want to know. Ohio State beat Northwestern 31-7. Texas beat Arkansas 20-10. Deion Sanders' team, Colorado 49-24. What else do we have? Alabama crushed Mercer 52-7. Penn State killed Purdue 49-10. A lot of you Irish fans, Notre Dame beat Virginia 35-14. Louisville blew it against Stanford 38-35. Coaching. What else? I think that covers it. UC lost again. UC moved up to a big old badass conference, and look what happens. Major League Baseball, not Bally, is going to be the new Reds broadcast partner. And Bella Caroli, the great gymnastics coach of Nadia Comaneci and the Americans, died. We have a world-class gymnast in our midst, Jamie Spindley, the Brit. Any comments about him? He was controversial.
Not really. In his day, he was a great man, a great coach.
Did he train you at any given time?
No.
He's focused on the women.
Yeah, never met him neither.
All right. And UK basketball is going to play Lipscomb tomorrow. You can't make this up. ESPN or CBS, one of them, has UK ranked 2 in their power ratings, basketball. Nothing like beating Duke to move you up the ladder. All right, coming up next, pop culture. All right, pop culture, big news. Betty White, that famous lady, is going to get her own stamp. Well-deserved, Betty White. Well, you know they smuggle drugs all kind of ways. With the latest, there was pounds of cocaine in hot chocolate. I wonder if any sniffed on hot chocolate, giving your kids some hot chocolate and think you're going to put in the bed, and all of a sudden they want to stay up all night. Humid head washed up on a beach. Sad story. 19-year-old boy. It was lost swimming. His head showed up. You know, the sharks take the rest. And Rachel Zegler, you know, this is kind of crazy. She's a Disney star, young girl, played Snow White. She's apologizing now because she went bonkers about Trump and his supporters. But she's backed out. We all young and dumb at some point in time. So forgiveness is in the air. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Do not be a shard-born, debauched mugger hugger. Be an oracle. And I hope today is a great day.